Can somebody catch me up? So why is this guy Tampon Tim? What is this? I just want to say, don't let the conservatives hear this, okay? So please don't clip my stream or anything. But man, it's really worrying me how effective and good all of these insanely weird and creepy sexist and racist attacks are that conservatives are making. I think that this is going to be the thing that carries them over the finish line. I don't know if the Democrats can win if conservatives keep talking about tampons and whether or not Kamala's really black and if she sucked to get all the way to the top because that's the only way women can succeed. I feel like these are really, really, really effective forms of attack that conservatives are doing. And man, whew. You have any thoughts on Harris picking Tim Walz as her running mate? I was really hoping for Mark Kelly. So between Kelly, Walz, and Shapiro, I'm going to be honest, I haven't done much reading. Just from the very, 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 like, bouncing off of the news cycle and reading, like, just headlines and tweets and sentiments or whatever, it seems to me like the Democrats had a good problem and that there were a lot of viable VPs to pick from that a lot of people liked in different ways, that whether it was any of those three or even anybody outside of that like the Democrats seem to have like an abundance of like, oh, yeah, sure, this, yeah, as opposed to the Republicans where, holy fuck, Vance doesn't seem to have been a good pick so far. I don't even know who a good pick would have been. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have a strong feeling about it, but who would actually be a good vice president pick for the Republicans? The problem is that you don't have the Republicans. It's the party of Trump now. So you're in a really weird space. Before, when Trump ran in 2016, you still had a Republican Party. So Trump was a very unconventional pick, but he could shore up his base, his evangelicals and his traditional conservatives with Pence. It made sense. I think that ticket, in my mind, that ticket made sense, I think. But now you don't really have a conservative party anymore. So when you talk about like, well, who does Trump need to pick as a vice president? Honest to God, you honestly want to know, can anybody guess who I think? I'm going to give you a very unpolitically informed take. You know who would have been the best pick for Trump's VP? Oh, somebody in chat half said it. Oh, no, yeah, okay, yeah. Somebody said mini Trump. True, he should have just chosen Donald Trump Jr. He should have just chosen Trump Jr. He should have chosen his son, one of his sons. I think that probably would have, honest to God, I think that probably would have been the best choice. They do politics pretty similarly. They're like shameless. They've got the family name. Conservatives won an emperor dynasty anyway. Like, yeah, I think they should have done that. You'd feel good about like Trump is getting old and aging out, but his son's right here to take up the reins. Yeah. You don't think that Vivek fits the mini Trump role better? I feel like that's really hard for me to evaluate. I feel like Vivek comes off as a brown noser. No racial slur intended there. I don't know if conservatives view it in that way. He was like kind of popular from among the Trumples, but why would you ever choose Vivek over Trump ever? You never would. But like, would he be a substitution for Trump? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think he would be, actually. Remember the issue you have with Trump. The biggest selling point to Trump, 51% of Trump's success, okay? And historians will write about this. And you will source me. Remember to source my stream in the history books, okay? If you guys are watching this in the future, school kids, okay? I was the most informed political commentator in the entire world, okay? Whatever else is in these chapters, okay? Donald Trump's success is majorly due to his charisma and his stage presence. That is like the 51% selling point on Trump. People remember him from The Apprentice. He was... his character on The Apprentice, he's like the archetypical, like, United States, like, masculine male role model figure. Like, he's tough, but he's fair, and he's, like, he's got a lot of showmanship and bravado. You've got, like, the gaudy red tie on the suits, but it works because he's so successful, and he's so, like, he's got his buildings and his businesses, and he's got, like, his, his family, and like, Trump just has, and he carries himself so well on stage, and he's funny, he's personable, he tells jokes, he gives people bad nicknames. Like, this is the majority of Trump's success is there. So when people look to compare people to Trump, they look at people like Vivek. Vivek hits all the populist talking points. 100% he does, absolutely. But Vivek's stage presence, it's not even close to Trump. He's got such good stage presence. He's so good at it. And he speaks like the language of like retard, like perfectly for all of his like fans to slip, but he's just so good at it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anybody that's even remotely comparable. Obama had really good stage presence. Bernie Sanders has, in my opinion, Bernie has very good stage presence as well. Bernie has exceptional stage presence, I think. Watching him work a general crowd, if he would have been the nominee, I don't think he could have made it because his policies are too extreme, but that would have been so interesting. Seeing like Bernie Sanders in a debate against Trump would be amazing, would be awesome, I think. Actually, the more I think about it, I feel like Bernie probably has the best stage presence. Obama's was really good, maybe, yeah. George Bush was nice. Bill Clinton, I think, was pretty nice. Reagan was very good. MLK was really good, but not necessarily a politician. Bernie's stage presence does not beat Obama. Probably not, maybe. I feel like Obama has one of those things too where, how do you describe it when you have you've got like a guy or a girl who's like very conventionally attractive, but there's like one off thing about them. It's either like a mole or a scar or something asymmetrical, but for some reason it just like makes them even more attractive. I feel like Obama was kind of like that, and that obviously he spoke very well. He was like eloquent. He had like the content and everything was good, but he had like a very unique, like he has a very, what would you call it? Unique diction? No. Accent? No. But he had a very unique style of speaking. Like cadence. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. He has a very Obama cadence, and that probably helped too. Like his speaking style definitely sticks out in your mind a lot. Yeah. What question would you ask Trump if you had the chance to? You can only ask one. I don't know. I don't care. There's not one question I care to ask Trump. I don't know. He's not like a very interesting person. There's nothing insightful or whatever. I'm not sure. I think for Obama, I would want to ask him, how did you feel about not being able to close Guantanamo Bay? It was a big thing that he ran on, and I feel like the answer to that question would be pretty illuminating in terms of like, here's what you want to do coming into government. Here are the things that you can't do despite what you want. Here's like things that exist because of reasons you might not want them to exist, but they're like necessary. I would be very interested to hear him talk through like how he felt about not being able to close Guantanamo Bay. I think for Bush, I think it would almost certainly be something about the Iraq War. How do you feel at the end of all of that about the Iraq War? Yeah. What would you ask Biden? I think for Biden, it would be him stepping down is probably one of the craziest. I'm trying not to dick ride too hard, but I don't think people realize how hard it is to step down from power. Like I'm pretty sure it was one of the most pivotal moments in U.S. history is when Washington stepped down and there was a peaceful transfer of power. You had a military dude, general, really prestigious. Everybody looked up to him. And this is like your first big test of like the American system. Like, is he really this general guy? He's really going to give up power and step back from the presidency? And he did. It was a really big deal. I think that Biden not just saying, fuck you, I don't give a fuck. We got this megalomaniac on the other side who's going to destroy the Republican Party. I can't just run again for my second fucking term. Him, especially after you fuckers told me not to run last time. Like, I could definitely see him holding on to that no matter what. And him stepping down, I think in the future, I think that'll be looked at as a pretty important, monumentous decision. I'd be curious, just what were your feelings and thoughts on that? He was getting pushed hardcore by his party. Nobody had faith in him. Yeah, but like, now that I have like so many podcasts on my shows and shit, I'm losing track of where I say shit. I don't know if I've said this on the stream before or if this is personal on another show. It says something about the Democratic Party that process happened the way that it did. In the Republican Party, it wouldn't be possible for that to happen. In the Democratic Party, from what I've seen, what probably happened was people spoke with him privately about stepping down. Seems like he probably wasn't into it. He was a fucking president. And then when that didn't work, I think people started to leak conversations to the press to apply external pressure as well to get him to step down. And eventually, with enough external pressure from figures that he respected, and internal pressure, I'm sure they were talking to him as well, eventually he stepped down. This works because Biden is a Democrat who is interested in the health of his party and in the future of his party in the country. That's the only reason that works. In the Republican Party right now, you cannot apply private or public pressure to Donald Trump. You will be destroyed. You'll be crushed. You can't do that. That's why when you get leaks from like Dominion and Fox, the stresses there are like, what can we lie about to like make Trump like us? Like, fuck, what are we going to lie about? Like, how are we going to sell this lie? Are our viewers going to believe us when we lie like this? We have to have Donald Trump. Like, there is no such thing as like these these Republican senators were talking about Trump to try to get him. Like, nobody does that because you're destroyed. You'll be annihilated. And Trump reminds you of it every single speech he gives. I help these guys get elected. They're not going to win their midterms. I help these guys elected. You guys are schmucks. You're not going to win your next election. You think you're going to be governor again without me? I didn't hear Biden ever say anything like that. We're not going to help you campaign for anything. So even the idea that that type of pressure scheme like kind of was planned and worked, I think is like, I think it says a lot. I think it's good for the Democratic Party. What if you had Trump under 100% accurate Kill Bill truth serum? What would the one question be? I would ask him why he wants to be president. Do you think that Trump will run again when he loses? I have no idea. If you would have asked me 4 years ago, I don't know what I said back then, but I feel like if you go and find a VOD, I wonder if I would have said, I don't think Trump would run again in 4 years. It wouldn't surprise me if I said that. I don't think I would have thought he would have run again in 4 years. This is pretty old. But I don't know. I'd be surprised if he runs in 4 more years, but I'm surprised he's running this year, so who knows, yeah.